Good afternoon. Today I'm going to speak with you about data science and its use in industry and most specifically in supply chain. Have you noticed that we are more and more dependent of automatic tools in our working life? And what is happening to productivity? Growing or not growing? What do you think? Growing. A lot or not so much? It depends. Yeah. So what can we see? In the last years, productivity keeps growing, yes, but not so much as it used before the crisis, financial crisis. Now, the reality differs from place to place. Imagine, in Europe, for example, the productivity growth is much lower than in emerging markets. And what are we seeing? We are seeing that Europe is losing ground to many other geographies, not only in productivity, but also in relevance. For example, industrial value added, while in '91 we represented 36% of the world manufacturing value added, 20 years after, we represented only 25%. So the importance of manufacturing in Europe is decreasing. Is this important for Europe? Of course, we have other sectors. But don't forget that manufacturing is crucial in Europe. Although it only represents 10% of the companies, it represents 75% of its exports. One job in manufacturing leads to two other jobs in other sectors. So it's crucial for Europe. And in the last decade, it has been losing size in Europe. So European Union had to do something. What did they do? First thing was to set a demanding target. They target that by 2020, 20% of the value added in Europe should come from manufacturing, from industry. So what are they doing? They are trying to do a new revolution, a new industrial revolution. So we had the first industrial revolution on the 18th century. It was all about steam power and mechanization. The second industrial revolution was in the beginning of 20th century. It was about electricity and the mass production. The third one was on the 70s, about electronics and automation. And now we are living a new one. It's all about data and the cyber physical systems. What is a cyber physical system? A cyber physical system is something that connects the physical and the digital world. So we have machines, right, that work. Machines work. And nowadays, they collect a lot of data. Now, they send data to the digital world, which analyzes the data, optimizes it, understands it, and takes decisions. Then, this decision goes back to the physical world, to the machines, which do what was decided. And data is at the center of this industrial revolution. Now, why does this exist? What is the goal? The goal is to have intelligent and interconnected systems making our supply chain more efficient. We have a very linear supply chain that started by development, then plan, then sourcing, making, deliver, support. And now we have a completely different world, something much more dynamic, much more interconnected. For example, nowadays, there is not just planning. We have synchronized planning because our planning in industry is synchronized with the plan of our customers, but also of our suppliers. We no longer have simply support of the customers. We have connected customers. While before our contact was punctual, nowadays it's continuous. We are always in contact with our customers. In terms of manufacturing, of the mill itself, we have machines that were doing things with people, right? Nowadays we have smart machines that speak with each other. They align each other. So the world is different. And what are the characteristics of this new supply chain? First of all, end-to-end transparency. Why is this important and what does it mean? Everyone in the supply chain can see what is happening, not only in their company, but also in the whole supply chain. So this is good for collaboration, an integrated community that collaborates. They trust each other. Then another characteristic is about being always on. Anything that happens, everyone will know at the same second. And they will adapt instantly. So something happens, in next second, everyone is adapted. Another thing is, the decision-making is not a company decision-making. It's about supply chain, because nowadays it's not a competition about companies. It's a competition about supply chains. So the decision-making tries to optimize the best for the supply chain, not for a single company. And then we have something. While in the past we try to get good solutions, nowadays with computing power, we try always to get the best solution with intelligent optimization. Okay, this is some ideas, and now how can we see it in reality? First, in terms of products. Have you noticed that before we had a product, something? Nowadays, the data is already, or extra service is already part of the product. Products are no longer physical things, are a basket of things. Planning. Before, I tried to optimize my things. Now, as I said before, if anything happens anywhere, I have to adapt and to plan in real time my operations. So everything is much faster. Risk. Before, I saw the quality of the products at the end of the production. Nowadays, I follow it second by second and see exactly what is happening. Collaboration. Now, with blockchain, everything is transparent. So people and companies tend to trust much more one another. Operations. Think about maintenance. We have two types of maintenance. Corrective maintenance, when there was a problem, and preventive maintenance that tries the problem to occur. Now we have predictive maintenance. We know, by imagining the vibrations of motors, that a problem will occur in a week, in 1 hour, and we do something for the problem not to occur. Logistics. We still don't have much, but we are working towards trucks being driven by themselves. Sales. Imagine a world where we don't have the same price. Pricing depends of the inventory, price depends of demand. Now, aftermarket sales. We heard about telephones. Imagine a world, and we are already there, where the augmented reality is a present, and we help our customers with it. So these are some examples of what is happening and what is going to happen. Now, this is a paradigm shift. We are turning from a world that was based in mass production to a world that is based on mass customization. Gonçalo wants to buy a product. It no longer buys 40. It buys exactly what he wants. He can choose everything. We are going from a world that was make to stock to a world that is made to order. So they don't produce and put in the warehouse. They produce that order for Gonçalo, exactly as he wants. We are going from a world that we were buying a product to something where we buy usage and experience. We are coming from a world that was about real rigid rules, Taylor, you remember, to a world that the work is flexible. Again, manufacturing used to be very hard working conditions, and now everything is bright. So we are in the middle of a paradigm shift. What does this mean? We are being able to do this, increasing profitability. And why? The revenues will go up. And why? Innovative products, customized products, and fast to serve. Then costs will go down. And why? Because the machines are more flexible. The investment we need to do in machines are not as high as it was needed in the past. So the profit will go up. Now, this was the overall idea I wanted to pass. I'm going to speak a bit about Navigator, about our experience. First of all, I will describe what we are. We are mainly a paper company. We sell paper. Our supply chain is characterized by three things. First, scale. We produce and sell 1.6 million of tons per year. We have over 1,000 customers. Our market share in Europe is around 20%. We have 5 paper machines. We dispatch almost 90,000 containers plus 100,000 trucks per year. So, big scale company. Then, our supply chain is complex. Why? Our paper machines are always running, 100% asset usage. We work almost without stocks, only a rolling stock. How many type of paper do you think we have? Because normally we speak about paper and it's paper. And don't forget, I always bring a bit of paper. A good friend, always a good friend. How many type of paper do you think we have? Over 180 different types of paper. How many products do we sell? Different products. So when I say we have 180 grades of paper, we have 70 grams, 80 grams, 90 grams, more white, less white, more humid, less humid. And how many products do we sell? 50,000 different products. And one order may come of any of these 15,000 products, and 10 days after, it must be out. So we have 10 days to produce any of these products of product offer. So it is a complex supply chain. About the dispatch and logistics, we deliver in over 3,000 points. So complex supply chain. Now, it is full of uncertainties. We have the demand uncertainty. It depends of what? Our customers, do they need the paper or not? They are going on holidays. What happens to demand? Another thing, competition. We always depend on them. Economy. Are we going up? Everyone is richer or not? Mr. Trump, what is he doing? Will it affect us? Directly. Now, our suppliers. If our suppliers are not able to deliver on time, I will have to change all the production, all the cycle. Now, production. this is manufacturing. So there are always problems happening every day. Because the machine is shut due to a technical thing, because it's producing but not as much as it should, because it can produce everything but not that type of paper. So, logistics. Our supplier did not arrive to the mill. Or it arrived but it's raining in France, so it cannot go to Germany. Always a big uncertainty. The customer, he put the order, but then does not have the money to pay. Or say, I don't want it now, I want it in 2 weeks. So in supply chain, we always have to solve a way, to get a way to solve the problem. So this is the characteristics of our supply chain. Scale, complexity, and uncertainty. Now, what are we doing with data to help us to improve? I brought here only four examples, but I think they are diverse for you to have an idea. The first one is about optimization. We have two types of paper. The ones that must be produced in one machine, a specific machine, and other that are the closing grades that can be produced in any of machines. Until now, we have these orders that just arrive in a machine and stay there. What we realize is there is a lot of value changing the routing, putting a smart routing of these interchangeable orders. So we are building an algorithm that routes the orders in a way that maximizes the contribution margin, not of that mill, but of the whole. Another project. A project that we have every day lots of our sales offices asking, can you produce this earlier? Or can you change the volume that I should use in reels in cut size? And before we analyze, we created a system that watches to the mill status, for the cutting status, sees the contribution and says yes or no. So it's the system that decides. Another thing about production planning. As you know, we have lots and lots of machines. Now we are working in a system that automatically plans that machine. Not only a plan, but gives us several solutions and we choose one. What do we want to prioritize now? Service level or costs? And then we can decide. And last, about communication. Nowadays, as I said, the product is not only about product, it's about the experience, the service. And being late is bad for customers. And why? Because sometimes they have to close their own machines. So we are constructing a track and trace system that will tell our customers when the paper will arrive. Finally, I would like to share with you the learnings. What have we learned throughout these projects? First, before starting, do a good analysis of all your supply chain to see where value is. Then, don't try to go for all the opportunities. Choose the opportunities. How? See the potential of the opportunity and also how easy it is to capture. Then, and it's a mistake that we normally do, we try to go for all the projects at once. It's always good to divide it in small steps because it gives confidence and it also motivates the teams. Another thing that is very important, when creating teams, create teams that are integrated, people for different sides of the company. Why? Because they have different views. And it's good to build such a team because they will open doors elsewhere. Now, we should always have top management support because sometimes we have to change many things and only top management can do. And in my opinion, and this is a personal opinion, who should lead these projects is not the IT, it's the business. IT is a support unit for change. The business should drive this project. Finally, and very important, we are in Portugal, right? Where the desenrasca is a tool. It is true that sometimes we have to desenrascate, but we cannot lose the sight. It's good to have a way, and every time we desenrascate, we need to get back on track. And that's it. Thank you very much.